What's going on, people of YouTube? Today, myself, Hex Odyssey, I'm going to be doing a Bethesda E3 press conference review, all my thoughts on what happened, and just everything I thought about the amazing press conference that we got to see. So I'm just going to do a little walkthrough of it and tell you my thoughts on each part. So at the beginning, you have Pete Hines. He's the VP of Bethesda, and he walks out and he just does a little introduction, talking about how happy he is to be doing this and how it's their first ever press conference and so on. And so yeah, he just gives that little introduction. Then he throws it over to the one of the directors for Doom, and we get to see this badass Doom campaign gameplay trailer thing. It wasn't really just like a cinematic trailer, it was actual gameplay that we got to see, which was badass. Personally, I've never played a Doom game, and this trailer alone made me want to get this shit. And yeah, so first off they had the campaign, which showed some really cool weapons and some awesome melee kills and stuff. I don't want to ruin any of it for you, but I'll probably link some of the gameplay trailers and all that in the description below, so go check that out. And then second off, they had a smaller multiplayer trailer, which is also gameplay. It was more of like a cinematic gameplay trailer though, and that was really cool as well. And my favorite part about the Doom little mini conference, was the Snap map, which is basically a game mode maker. It's kind of like in GTA 5, whenever you can like make your own maps and modes and like have different things happen in your little map, which I thought was badass. And I think that more games need to have this little feature. So I was really happy that they're doing that. The next part of the conference was they introduced this thing called Bethesda Net, which is like, I guess it's just a hub for all of the things that they do, and also a hub for like the Snap Map thing. And they said that they talked about like they're gonna involve it in more of their games. I don't really know exactly what they're talking about now, but I think it'd be really cool to see Snap Map in a lot of other Bethesda games, and I think it works really well with what they do in their content. So the next part of the conference was Battle Cry, which is a game that I'm not very familiar with, but it looked kind of cool. It kind of reminded me of TF2, and they talked about how beta signups are starting worldwide, and also it's playable at E3, which doesn't really affect most of us. I wish I was there to play some of this shit, but unfortunately I couldn't make it. And then they had a little Battle Cry trailer, which was pretty cool. I'll probably link that down below as well. Now to one of the cooler parts, and a part that really affected me, was the Dishonored 2 trailer. If you guys haven't played Dishonored 1, then you need to check that shit out, because that's one of the best games of 2012. And I was super stoked for this. I predicted that they were going to have a Dishonored 2 trailer, and I was really happy to see it. And one of the coolest parts of the trailer is that they talked about how you get the choice to play as either Corvo, which was was the person you played as in the first game, or you can choose to play as Emily, she was like a child in the first game, and she was a really good big part of the story. And this is 15 years later, so she's probably 25 in this one. So I thought it's really cool that you get an option to play as one or the other. And also I think it's really cool that a lot of games are starting to involve boy and girl characters to play as, because I think girls need to be I think that more and more girls are getting into gaming, and I think it's pertinent that we allow them to play as a female or whatever gender they'd like to play as in games. So I'm really glad they did that. Moving on to the next part, it was another Dishonored thing, which I'm not surprised that they're doing this at all. It was a Dishonored Definitive Edition. They just announced that they're doing a Definitive Edition. And if you don't know what a Definitive Edition is, it's basically just a remake, and then you add in all the DLC. So whenever Dishonored first came out, it was on Xbox 360, PS3, and PC, I think. And now they're going to be having it come out for the next gen consoles with all the DLC. I'm definitely going to be picking that shit up because I really enjoyed Dishonored, and I think it's going to be cool to enjoy it again on next gen consoles, my PS4. So the next part of it, something that I don't really give a shit about, was the Elder Scrolls Online trailer. They just had like a little trailer about new content, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, this is not going to change the game sucking dick. Like, Elder Scrolls Online is one of the biggest piece of crap MMOs I've ever seen. I'm not playing that shit. However much they can show me as many trailers as they want, I'm not playing that motherfucking game, boy. So And then they had this thing. I thought it was kind of interesting. I'll probably try it out. I don't really know when it's coming out, but they announced this thing called the Elder Scrolls Legends, and they just did like a little teaser trailer of it. It reminded me of like Hearthstone. It's like a strategy card game for like your phone and stuff, I think. And I'll probably check it out eventually, but I don't know. They didn't really give us much information about it, so if I check that out, I'll give you some more information on that. Now, moving on to the obviously everyone's favorite part of the conference, they started talking about Fallout. So first off, they gave us Todd Howard comes out obviously as he usually does, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna show you some gameplay," which everyone was expecting, and we got to see some gameplay, and it was oh my god, it blew people's minds. I think there were people dying in the crowd and stuff. I'm pretty sure they had defibrillators out and people have going into cardiac arrest. Like it was crazy. I can't really explain to you everything that happened because it was just jam packed full of information. But I'm gonna link the. I might actually put this voiceover over some of the trailers, so just enjoy that. And yeah, so they just showed us some gameplay first off, and then they went over to a. They talked about the Pip Boy some, and they talked about how you're gonna have a new Pip Boy, and they showed us the Pip Boy, and the Pip Boy has like 3D models of the guns and armor in it, and I thought that was the coolest thing because whenever I played Fallout 3, I was like, I wish that they would didn't just have these in 2D like they didn't even show the guns when you're in there, and it was just like everything was 2D about it. And then this one's everything's 3D. The guns will like spin around when you're in it. And I thought that was really cool. And something that they moved on to talk about with the Pip Boy was that they're gonna have a collector's edition where you can actually get your own Pip Boy with it. And I'm definitely gonna get that shit. I don't know if they've announced a price for it yet, but I think it should be available now or within the next couple days. So if you're a big Fallout fan, I would recommend getting that. And basically, there's this iPhone app, and you slip your iPhone into the Pip-Boy, and you use your iPhone like as the screen or an Android, whichever you have. And I think that's really cool, and I'm definitely going to be getting that for the collector's edition. And so then they went back to more gameplay, and they showed us this thing. It was like creation. It was like that. Like what the hell was it? The snap map thing, and they showed us more creation, and it was like you could create your own settlements in the Fallout world, and I thought that was cool as hell because like you'll create your own things or your own little like city, not really cities, just like villages, and people will come the bigger you get your little village, and people will come and live there actually, and eventually raiders will come attack it, and you actually get to set up like turrets and little weapons and stuff to defend it. And I thought that was really badass that they had something like that, and it was really like unique because you don't see that in a lot of other games. And then they showed more customization. They showed that you can actually customize your guns, which is going to be so cool. I think people have been wanting that in Fallout for a long time. They also showed that you can customize your freaking your armor, and they showed like the big Brotherhood of Steel armor in there, and you can like customize the layers of it and stuff. And I thought that was awesome. I can't wait to do that shit, dude. That's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna make some of the coolest armor. And something that you do with your customizing is you'll actually find stuff in the world that seemed like useless in the other games. They'll actually be useful now. So like, let's say you find a teddy bear, and the eye on it, the eye of the teddy bear is made out of something useful. You can actually take that teddy bear and use the eye to like make a scope or something, or it's really cool because they actually made stuff that seemed completely useless that you could pick up in the old games actually useful now. So I'm really happy that they're doing that because it seemed just like kind of unimportant and like it wasn't needed in the other games. And I like it whenever they make everything in the world involved with you. So I'm really happy that they're doing that. Another thing, so the next part of it was they went on to another iPhone thing, and I was like, oh, seriously, another gimmick. But this one actually kind of, I was really happy because Todd Howard isn't like, oh, this is the best iPhone game out there. He's like, I realize that a lot of iPhone games are gimmicks and stuff, but he showed us this one, and this actually doesn't look like too bad of a gimmick. This actually might be one of the few good gimmicks that's out there, and it's called Fallout Shelters. And basically, you're the overseer, and you get to it looks like Tiny Tower, the like the game Tiny Tower, and you you control the entire vault, and you can have people come in and assign them to do different jobs, and you can send them out, and go do little side missions and stuff. And I thought that was awesome that they're doing something like that. So I already got the game and I just started it, and I think it seems pretty good so far. So I might do a review of the game later, so stay tuned for that. And then the final part of it was we got some more gameplay, and it was, oh dude, they showed VATS and they showed combat in this little gameplay blip, and we got to see like a jetpack Brotherhood of Steel armor thing that you got, and it looked like Iron Man like stepping into it. And then the gameplay ends with you a death claw like rips you out of it and like throws you to the ground. I thought it was really cool that they're actually having like a cinematic for your death now, instead of you looking like a rag doll and just falling on the ground and the music playing like instead of that they actually have like a cool cinematic for it now. And another thing about the cinematic that I want to talk about is the when you're actually talking with your characters, it actually you have options. Now you can either do it in first person like the old games, you can do it in third person, or you can do it in this little cinematic thing that looks like kind of like Mass Effect. If any of you have played that, and I think I'm actually gonna try that out because it looks really cool. Because now you have a voiced protagonist, obviously, and it's gonna be cool to see both the characters interacting with each other with your voice character. So I'm really pumped to do that and see how that works in the game, and I think it's gonna work really well. So after all this, we're all mind blown. We're all sitting there with our boners and shit, and we're like, oh, but what else can they show us? We might as well leave or whatever. Then they have one more. They're like, and Todd Howard's like, wait, 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 I have one more thing, and he's like, game's fucking coming out November 10th of this year, and we all just freaking jizz right there, and we're like, oh, oh, and I'm pretty sure that has to be one of the best press conferences of all time because that was just amazing. They know how to do a press conference, and it's crazy because their first ever press conference, and it's funny that there's these people like EA and fucking Xbox and Sony that have been doing these for years, and they can't live up to someone who's doing their first year, and they just destroyed. So I hope you guys enjoyed my little recap review and my own personal thoughts of the Bethesda E3 press conference 2015. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you didn't agree with anything I said, and you guys want to have a little talk about that, and I'll comment with you. Let's go talk in the comments down below, and we can talk down there. And also I have my Twitter linked on my YouTube account, so please subscribe so you can get more content. And I'll see you guys later. Hex Odyssey out.